What a beautiful way to start the morning. Good morning and welcome. I'm Reverend Erin Marie Szymanski. It is wonderful to have you all here today in our community, in our center. And thank you also to our online viewers who are here with us. We're happy to have you with us here today as well. And let's see. I never go off the script and then I get lost if there's things I'm supposed to be saying. If you do want to, if you're watching online and you do want to tell us where you're viewing from, that's always fun to know too. And then the recording of today's service is going to be posted online to the Columbus CSL's YouTube channel as well, where historically past services are there. If you ever want to go back and view one, you're welcome to do that too. Before we move further into the service though, for any of you who were not here last week, it's important to let you know that the Columbus CSL chapter for CSL is coming to a close. We are at a point where we're needing to kind of shift how our center is and look toward what it can be in the future. And I'll say a little bit more about that in the talk later, but if any of you are here today who hadn't received that news last week, I wanted to make sure you were aware. October 22nd is going to be our big kind of celebration of life for Columbus CSL and all that it has been in this current manifestation, and kind of planting the seed for what it might become in its next manifestation. So October 22nd, please come join us for that. Now I'd like to invite you to join me in reading our mission statement. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. And then we're going to move into meditation. Our practitioner for today, Sarah Awad, fell ill, so she wasn't able to be here. So you get to have me for meditation and all the things today. So if you don't mind giving me just a minute, I'm going to sit down, take my microphone over there, and we'll start with some meditation. I'm about to take the watch off.
The answer is play well early.
Yeah, right. So I invite you to just take a deep breath. Feel yourself present in this moment. There is no other moment but this one. Right here. Right now. Slow, deep breath. Feel yourself supported in this space. Physically, but also supported in community and in love. And as you settle into this moment, and this breath, I invite you to allow your awareness to expand beyond this physical body, to feel your energy, moving and flowing in an orb much wider, much bigger than this physical body. Maybe you can feel that energy moving and expanding in a way where it touches and plays with the energy of the others in this room, all connected, as your very being. It is love. We are awash in love. And as you breathe in, you breathe in that energy that is love. And with each breath, you feel yourself filling more and more full of that love. For the next couple minutes, just focus on breathing in that love, where it moves in you and how it feels. Breathing in love. And as you breathe in that love, you feel it moving into every tiny little place of your being, down to every single cell, bathing your DNA in love. Every little piece of your body that helps you be who you are in this physical manifestation. Bathed and flowing in the energy of love. Down even deeper than the DNA, into every little atom, every electron whirling and spinning and whizzing, and in the space in between, filling every crevice, every all of you in love. You continue filled to overflowing. You cannot even contain so much love. You allow yourself to be filled to overflow. Feel this whole room filled with love. Let it keep flowing. There is no lack in this love, no limitation, no end. This love that we breathe, that fills us and overflows us, it is Spirit. And I know that I and everyone here is a manifestation of that divine, perfect, beautiful love in the world. And that if ever I feel empty, dry, that a few deep breaths, a few moments of awareness and grounding, all I need to fill myself up. Because this love, this presence of Spirit, it is always and everywhere and now in every moment. I choose to allow myself to be loved and to be love in the world. I give great thanks for this gift freely given, and I do not need to earn in any way, that I don't have to deserve, that I don't have to perform for. It's a divine gift. So I say thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, love. And so it is. I invite you to take just a couple more minutes. Allow your awareness to come back into this room here, this community. Holding on to that knowing of love as all that there is, right here, right now, for all of us here. Thank you.
Let go of the shore.
the theme we've been working with all month, we have up there Love Out Loud. And this week, the talk title is Love Wins. And I love that. It felt very, very positive and affirming, and just kind of a nice place to start from for a talk title. But actually, as I started thinking about it, one of the first things that came to my mind is just how hard it can be to say yes to love sometimes, because love is kind of risky business. Love sets us up for the potential for pain, the potential for suffering, and loss, and in grief. And it can be a little bit scary because love asks us to be vulnerable and to share parts of ourselves that maybe we wouldn't otherwise share. So, love wins, yes, but it doesn't win without a little bit of putting ourselves out there, a little bit of riskiness. And also, what we call love, I think sometimes really isn't necessarily love. We throw that word around, we kind of banter it around very loosely, especially in the English language, especially in this culture. And we say things like, I love chocolate, or I love that movie. I love the way Tony plays the piano.
Very true.
We say things like, oh my God, I love that dress. We just throw the word around in a lot of very casual kinds of ways. And out of curiosity, I looked up on the database, the internet database for all television shows, how many shows had the name love in the title. And I'm not talking just episodes, but I'm talking the actual name of the television programming. How many shows had the name love in the title? Anybody want to take a guess?
22.
22. Much higher. 2,000? Higher than 2,000.
Wow.
2,272, with more coming, I'm sure. With love in the title, right? So what does that ultimately do to the depth of the meaning of the word love when we use it in so many ways, in so many casual sorts of ways? When we say, I love you, what does that mean? I love you more than chocolate? Or I love you as much as that movie? And it's funny because, in some of my relationships, and I've heard other people too, they'll be like, well, I love you more than the stars in the sky. It's like we have to try to find a way to express the depth of our love, because the word love in itself can't really capture it when we use it in really casual ways as well. Other cultures and other languages have multiple ways to say the word love, to capture things that are spiritual love, love between sexual partners, love between friends. In Sanskrit, there are 96 words for love. I think that was the top. Persian, 80 different words for love. So for example, there are words that mean love as expressed in grace, love between lovers, an all-encompassing love in the deepest sense of the word, tender, soft feelings of love, compassionate love, different words for love between different gender couplings, love that is fondness, love that is love toward God, love that is love from God toward us, love that is attachment and affection, the love of endearing friendship, and my favorite, cascading melting due to love. Those are all expressions of love that we in the English language say is love, just capturing that one word. And so we use that one word to mean lots of different things and lots of different capacities and relationships, and even with inanimate objects. And so that word love can be really convoluted And then when you add on to that convolution, the depth and complexity of emotions that get tangled up in love, the fear, the grief, the hope, the excitement, all of that, love is messy in a lot of different ways. So I decided to look up somebody that I respected a lot and see what they have to say about love. So I looked up Mother Teresa, who's now Saint Teresa of Calcutta, and pulled a few of her quotes to just ponder on together in this concept of love wins. One thing she says is, "We have been created in order to love and to be loved." We were created in order to love and to be loved. This is a fundamental aspect of our beingness, of our character. We are created by Spirit out of love and in love. And our first breath is Spirit. The first breath is that love. Without it, without that love, without that breath of our life, our souls and our bodies would wither and die. We must have that. It is our very nature, the very nature of our being, to be loved. Our purpose is to love and to be loved. Now, in my experience, those of you who've been around for several years might have heard this story a while back, but I was raised in the Catholic Church, and I was very deeply devoted to Catholicism, went all the way through a Master of Divinity in the Catholic Church, and had a faith crisis during that master's program. Really deep, probably the second most painful experience of my whole life was this faith crisis, because I had finally come to terms with my own sexuality and was really struggling with the Catholic Church's teaching on homosexuality. And I couldn't make peace with the Catholic Church's teachings and my own attractions and my own draw to love. And so I met with a, what do we call it, like the head of morality for the Catholic diocese that I was in, who also happened to teach morality courses at the college I had been to, and was really trying to have him help me make sense of the teachings, make sense of what I understood God as love to be. And what he told me was that it was okay to love who I loved and how I loved, but I couldn't act on my love. And I thought, well, that is the strangest thing to tell somebody, you know? You can't act on your love. And I left just as confused, but actually angry then. Like it shifted in myself. My faith crisis moved into anger at that point. And I just continued struggling with that. Like how could a God of love who created us to love say, but don't love like that? And I struggled for most of a year. It got to the point where I couldn't even walk into a church, and I had been a daily mass kind of person. And one of my friends just talked me into going with her to Easter Sunday mass service. And so I went. It had been a while since I'd been inside of a church, but I went with her. And I couldn't even tell you what the priest happened to say that day during the service, but something just shifted inside of me. And I felt like it shifted down to my DNA. And the message I got, whatever he said, I don't know, but the message I got was that the only thing God asks of me is that I let myself be loved. And that there is no way I can contain that love, and it will overflow me, and I don't have to worry about the rest. The rest will take care of itself if I let myself be loved to the point where I cannot contain it, and it just flows out of me, then everything's okay. That's God. That's love. And don't worry about the rest. So this idea that we've been created to love and to be loved, for me, is very fundamental. Like my whole way of being in a relationship with God, with church, with everything, changed as a result of that. But for me, I flip it, and I say that we're created in order to be loved and to love. That we can't love without first being loved, because we have to have that capacity within us. We have to have that love of spirit within us to be able to share it. So we're created in order to be loved and to love, or to love and be loved, whichever way works for you. It's pretty much all the same, really. And how does it feel? How does it feel to let ourselves be filled with that love and to give it freely from that well of overflowing love? There's something about that resonates with us in the core of our being. So another thing that Mother Teresa said is, do not think that love, in order to be genuine, has to be extraordinary. Do not think that love, in order to be genuine, has to be extraordinary. There are little random acts of kindness. You know, I've been the recipient of many little random acts of kindness, from little trinkets I've been gifted to a scarf, and I mean, just, you know, coffee. There are so many simple little ways that people can just gift a kindness. I like to put the worms back in the soil when they get washed down in the rain, you know. I have a friend that loves to cut the neighbor's grass just because they're elderly and it's hard for them, and she just loves to go cut their grass for them. You know, just picking up the phone and giving somebody a call just because they happen to come to your mind, or send a text message to say, hey, I'm thinking of you, just want you to know that you're loved. These may not be extraordinary things, right? But what matters is the genuineness that they come out of. That movement within that says, hey, let's do this for somebody right now. Hey, let's give in this way. Let's show up in this way. It might be simple, but if it's genuine, then it is good, it is sacred, it is love, an expression of love. And even though they may not feel like extraordinary acts in ourselves when we do them, they can feel extraordinary to the people who receive them. I can tell you that the neighbors, the elderly couple who get their lawn mowed just because my friend loves to do it, are so deeply grateful for that act of kindness. So it doesn't need to be something that's extraordinary to us, but it can be received in an extraordinary way by the person who receives of that genuine love. The power of love is in that, in its integrity, in its genuineness, not in the size of the act itself. Another thing that Mother Teresa says, loving must be as normal to us as living and breathing, day after day, until our death. Loving must be as normal to us as living and breathing, day after day, until our death. So can we say that this is true for ourselves right now? I know for myself, I struggle sometimes with judgment, with pettiness. I can slip into that as even more of a normal expression of myself than just choosing love moment by moment. My first response when I found out Sarah was sick was, gosh darn it, that's more work for me to do, right? And then I was like, wait, I'm so sorry that you're sick, Sarah, you know, you get better soon, right? Our first response isn't always the loving, kind response, right? And I do hope that she gets better soon. But, you know, that's an important awareness to have for ourselves, is where is our response? Where is our motivation? Where is our integrity in things? And that that feeling of frustration or anger or fear or whatever it is that kind of mucks things up sometimes, it's unpleasant not just because of the emotion, but because it creates an experience of separation. Love is a uniting force. It draws us together, it holds us together. Love drops the idea of right and wrong, of good and bad, of me versus them, and it sees the truth right to the heart of the other. Love acknowledges that divine spiritness of the other. And if we do see God in the other, then how are we moved to love? If I had seen Sarah first as that divine expression of love whose physical body right now was struggling, my first response wouldn't have been, oh! My first response would have been much more compassionate, much more kind. How do I speak to someone who pushes my buttons every single day when I know that that person is an expression of spirit? How do I water a plant when I'm thinking of that plant as an expression of the divine? And how do I speak to myself? How do I speak to myself in my thoughts, in those quiet moments, and in my times of frustration, when I remember that God is in me and through me and as me in the world? There's actually a book that I just discovered this morning, so I haven't read it yet, but a book that's titled Love Wins by Rob Bell, and it was published in 2011. He, at the time, I'm not sure if he still is, but at the time he was a Christian pastor out in California, and his book is about the idea that if we truly believe that God is love, then it is incongruent to think that a God who is love would inflict eternal damnation on God's people. It's incongruent. And he goes through a whole lot of different scriptures from Old Testament to New Testament and tries to demonstrate this through the course of the book. And he says, as we agree in our teaching, that eternal life does not start when we die. It is now. We are in the eternal life now. And love wins. The more we engage in love, moment by moment, the more we experience it, and the more our eternal now is an experience of heaven. The more we experience love. We change the world with our loving. And there is no challenge in our lives which love is not the answer to. It shows up and expresses in different ways, just as there are many ways to say the word love. And the more we look for love, and the more we demonstrate love, the more we see it constantly unfolding around us. And then finally, Mother Teresa said, "It does not matter how much we give, but how much we put into our giving. It does not matter how much we give, but how much we put into our giving." Sometimes we can feel like our value comes from what we do, from what we produce, from what we give, from the things we say yes to. We can push ourselves to do more, to commit to more things, because we feel they're meaningful and important and we want to be part of them. Sometimes we say yes to things because we're trying to earn respect or approval or love from others, or we're afraid to let other people down. And when we say yes from those places, what are we putting into our giving? What are we putting into our giving when we say yes because we feel obligated to or responsible to, but not because we would love to? Expectation, weariness, frustration at times. What if we were able to give only love? What if we were able to make each choice we make from the perspective that it's a choice of love? That even our yeses and our nos are gifts of love. Because every time we say yes to something, we're saying no to other things, right? And anytime we say no to something, we're saying yes to other things. And this is where I want to talk for a moment here about Columbus CSL closing in its current form. Because a lot of us have loved this center very deeply and for many years. And a lot of us love it now, right? I'd say we all do because we're here. We said yes right now to this community, to this center. We have put our hearts and our souls into this center and this community. We have seen it through some very difficult years, through lots of change and challenge. And we've reached a point now where a lot of people have followed other paths because it was the right thing for them to do. And it has left very few people to carry a lot. And those people have gotten really tired. Right? Their well is running dry. And the leadership has been talking not about what is the right thing to do, but what is the loving thing to do. The loving thing for this community, and the loving thing for the leaders, and the loving thing for whatever is next to be for CCSL. Because we could keep pushing. We could. But where does that leave the community if we push until there really is nothing left? If we push until everybody is burnt out, or needing something different, or there is nothing left to draw from for the next expression of CCSL. And so, what in some ways seems like a no, that no, we can't really do it this way anymore, is also really a yes. To say, yes, we love this community so much that we want to set it up with the ability and the opportunity to come back in a new and different way that will serve whoever is here and whatever it needs in the best way possible without having completely depleted it before we get there. I've been thinking as far as a plant, I love to look at nature because there's so much it can teach us and so many analogies and metaphors for our own lives and our communities. And I was thinking about how plants go through those seasonal cycles where they grow profoundly and they might bloom beautiful flowers and they have seeds, and then a season comes where they wither. They fall back in on themselves, they die off. And a lot of plants, the ones that are intended to come back the next year, they do that in one of two ways. They do it by putting that energy back down into the root system so that the roots have the nutrients that they need to grow forth again when the conditions are right. And they do it in their seeds by putting the life of the next flower, of the next plant into the seed so that it can grow and become the next beautiful, wonderful, divine expression of plantness that it holds in that little seed. And so whichever one of those analogies works for you, I invite you over the next few weeks of Columbus CSL as it is now, and in that transition time to whatever it becomes next, to think not of we died, but to think of we're putting our energy back into our roots. We're putting our energy into the seed for what's next. And trust Spirit to grow whatever that is with whoever is there, just as it did at the beginning of this expression of Columbus CSL. Love wins. Love wins. And it doesn't always look like what we think it's going to look like. But it still wins. Because it's all there is. So I invite you to go into prayer with me. There is only one. one that is God, Spirit, Source, life, love. Whatever we want to call it, there's one. And it is all that there is. All of creation. All that we can see and all that we can't see. All that is known to us and all that is a mystery. It is this one. And I know for myself, as I know for everybody here in our community, and all the people of the world, and all of creation, that I am an expression of that one. That life and that love and His Spirit, it is all that I am. It is every cell of my being, every breath that I take. It is every beat of my heart. It is the energy with which I do everything in this life, for I can do nothing outside of Spirit. I can do nothing outside of love. And so I know for myself, as I know for our community, that all is well and all is loved. And I choose to keep my focus, my intention on that love first and foremost, allowing myself to be filled to overflowing, looking for all the ways that love shows up and all the opportunities for me to show up as love, to celebrate the beauty that this is in the world in every moment. I give thanks for the blessing that this is, for the delight and the joy and the beauty. And I give thanks. I give thanks because there's nothing I have to do to know this love, but to let it be, to let it live and dwell within me. From this place of deep gratitude and absolute grounded knowing, I release these words into that one, into that love, knowing that as I say them already, it is true. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. It is now time for the giving of our gifts. I would like to thank you for all the ways that you have and continue to support the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. It is with your intention, with your conscious contributions, that we have been able to be the community that we have been through all these years, and your support continues to help us even now. We appreciate your financial contributions, your prayers, your love for each other, showing up with potluck food and setting up tables and taking down chairs. All of that is part of what makes this community so wonderful, the ways we show up and give with each other. Financially, there are many ways that you're able to conveniently donate to CCSL. We have up on the slides our text to give number. You can also mail in a check, and there's little envelopes around the tables. Any way that you're able to contribute to us at this point is still very deeply and sincerely appreciated. And I would like you to please say our giving affirmation with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
As we witness this circulation, join us in singing I Trust in God.
Know with me that these gifts and all gifts to our center in time, in treasure, in love, they are the expression of God, and they are love. Yes, even money, it is love. We give thanks for this. We give thanks for this community. We give thanks for the flow of spirit in all of it. Yes, we are grateful. Together we say, and so it is.
And so it is, and so it be. And so it is, and so it be.
Beautiful. And now it's time to give more thanks. I'd like to give thanks to those who are leading our music today, for Tony Bernardi on keyboard. Yes. For our song leaders, we have Michelle Chambers, Wayne Carter, Joni Bauman. Thank you all for leading our music today. Thank you to Robin, who's been live streaming on Facebook as well as doing the slides, helping us set up this morning also. Let's see here. Thank you to all of our volunteers for the beautiful flowers on our tables, for all of those who brought food for the potluck, and of course, thank you to all of you for being here with us today. So appreciate it. You are what makes this community what it is. You are absolutely invited to join us again next week and weeks to come through our celebration of Life for the Service on October 22nd as well. If you do happen to be joining us for the first time today on live stream, Robin can certainly send you some more information about our teaching and about the greater CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living Community. You can just reach out to her through Facebook or email, and we can get that information to you as well. Let's see. Everyone is invited to join us after service today for the potluck. Even if you didn't bring anything, you're still absolutely welcome to join us. If you would like prayer for anything after service, you're welcome to join me in prayer at any point. I don't know if Joni's sticking around or not. Are you going to be here? Joni's a practitioner too. I'm sure she would love to pray with you. She's a great prayer. Yeah. And then one last announcement. Just because of the logistics of what it means to kind of bring this chapter of Columbus CSL to a close and kind of set things up for whatever might be next for it, there may be some point that we need to reach out to the community and have your input on various, formalities, I guess, of what that looks like in the center. We may need an actual vote of the community at some point for things. We're still communicating with main office about that, but I wanted to make you aware so that you can watch for your email, and if you do see that a message comes out to you that we need to have another community gathering, and you are a voting active member, we would like you to participate in that with us too, okay? All right, well, I thank you truly from the depths of my heart. I'm so grateful that you all are here, and I do love you and all that that word means. So please say our blessing with me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And so it is. Let us stand for our closing song each and every day.